Hello, this is Christian of 5 Fey Dragon, and thank you for joining. And today, I want to talk about Breath of the Wild. It is actually my favorite Zelda game. It is straight off the bat engaging. I love the open world and the aesthetics of the game, and I feel like only the hookshot is missing. Like, forget the climb gear, let me hookshot to the top of that mountain. Today, though, I want to focus on the most important item in the game, the Sheika slate. My biggest problem with the game, about the fantasy game, is having such a technologically advanced piece of equipment in it. But it does provide great gameplay, even though it is a little out of place. And also, how does the Sheika slate even work? It can create bombs, freeze things in time, and allow them to build potential energy. It can lift magnetic objects seemingly regardless of weight, create pillars of ice, summon food and items, or store information like map, as well as update that information. There is likely more that the Sheika slate can do, but I want to focus on the specifically named abilities for a few episodes. This episode will be on the Cryosis ability. It is a simple ability. You find water or a swamp, you aim and press A, and fairly quickly there is a pillar of ice. This pillar of ice does have a few strange properties, but of course, science! It can't be as simple as just appearing. So what else do we need to understand to figure out how the Cryosis ability works? The Cryosis ability can be used on bogs, but if the ability were just freezing the water in the bogs, then wouldn't the pillars made from the ability be full of filth, dirt? But the pillars of ice are clean, basically blue and see-through. So is the Cryosis ability not just pulling the water out, but also filtering the water from the bogs? But how does it filter the water? The next issue is, how does it stay still? You can create the pillars of ice on rivers, and there are some fast-moving rivers in the game. But no matter if you make the pillars on the fast running water, if you're climbing on the pillars, or if you have weight on the top of the pillars so they're top heavy, the pillars don't move or tip over. They just stay where they are, stay still relative to the position on the surface of Earth. And also, the pillar is created in less than a second and is about 4 times Link's volume. Where's all the heat going from that water? Is it just randomly going nowhere? Or where? Or is there supposed to be a heat wave? Like, honestly, where's the heat wave going? After looking into this, I actually think the best way to explain how the Cryosis ability works is the Magnesis ability, another ability the Sheika slate has that allows you to lift magnetic objects, metals, just essentially by pointing at them with the Sheika slate. So the Magnesis ability must manipulate the electromagnetic force, and everything has a magnetic field. Some objects are easier to move with the force, like metals, but everything from wood to metal to even water has a magnetic field. So, the way the Cryosis ability works is using the magnesis, or manipulating the electromagnetic force, one of the 4 fundamental forces of the universe, to pull on the water and expand it. That's how it forms! Similarly, this can explain how the water is filtered. The Sheika slate can manipulate the electromagnetic force to pull on the water and push on the debris, filtering it. And before anyone complains to me that the Sheika couldn't program the Sheika slate to do that, the Sheika created the Guardians, which have been able to function after 10,000 years, as well as a handheld device that can create bombs seemingly out of nowhere. It can lift metal objects just by pointing at them with the Sheika slate. So I think we can give the Sheika the benefit of the doubt with the programming abilities. Also, about the pillars being in place on rivers and not tipping over, just staying in place, I think that is a sub-program from the stasis ability that keeps it in place. And I'm going to cover the stasis ability in a future episode. For now, we'll just finish up with the Cryosis ability. And so that explains how the Cryosis ability is formed, filtered, and stays still. But for a final argument, I can explain how there is no heat wave when the pillar is formed, and how energy is conserved here. Heat is a form of energy. Heat is the motion of molecules in something moving around. So the faster the molecules move around and the more of them there are, the hotter something is. So the pillar of ice is about 4 times Link's volume. I'll spare you the calculations, but that much water, when cooled about 8 degrees, that is going to be a lot of heat, sending out a heat wave of a 483.998 degrees Fahrenheit. But what about the oasis from the game, from the desert? That water would probably start as so high as 70 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And doing the extreme calculation, that much water, when instantly frozen to at least 32 degrees Fahrenheit, would send a heat wave about 7,143.441 degrees Fahrenheit. And Link is sometimes standing right next to where the pillar is formed. That heat wave could kill Link. But the Cryosis ability, with manipulating the electromagnetic field, could expand the water. So if you expand stuff, if you can expand volume without increasing mass, you actually cool things. Like I said before, heat is essentially molecules moving quickly, and a lot of molecules. So you would be essentially reducing the amount of molecules cooling the water. Anyway, so that is how Link's Cryosis ability could use magnesis to create the pillars, filter them, keep them still, as with the stasis ability, as well as cool them down with being able to conserve heat, just expanding the water, making less mass per the area, freezing the water without having to actually add or subtract energy. Anyway, in conclusion, it's just that you don't have as many unique abilities as you thought with the Sheika slate. But there are still a few other abilities, the stasis ability. So next time, let's take a little time, pause for a few moments, and review the stasis ability. Of course, remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with my theories about Link's Sheika slate, as well as the theories I have about how possible it is to become an Overwatch character, as well as other theories I have in the works. I watch a lot of anime, and so the next few weeks I am going to be covering Overwatch. Within the next couple of months, though, I do have a few theories for One Piece specifically. Anyway, for now, that's the theory, and until next video, this is Christian with Fire Fae Dragons, signing off.